In an unexpected and shocking turn of events, Tiffany Henyard, once a shining beacon of business success, is now at the center of one of the most explosive scandals in recent history. The shocking details that have emerged not only have the public reeling but also put the most influential figures in the world of business, politics, and law at a crossroads. Tiffany Henyard, known for her immense wealth and corporate power, is now demanding an eye-watering $600 million to avoid imprisonment and preserve her status. But what exactly led to this bombshell of a demand? What dark secrets is she threatening to expose? And how far-reaching could the consequences of her actions truly be? Let's rewind and look at Tiffany Henyard's story before the scandal. She wasn't always seen as the villain of the story. Henyard, once a self-made mogul, was admired for her sharp business acumen and her seemingly flawless rise to the top. Known for her mastery in corporate deals, Henyard became one of the most influential women in business. Her success story seemed to symbolize everything that was great about the American dream. She wasn't just a businesswoman. She was a powerhouse, a woman who built her empire from the ground up, climbing to the top in a world dominated by men. Her brand was untouchable. She built multi-billion-dollar companies, played a role in groundbreaking technological advancements, and rubbed shoulders with the most elite figures in society. Henyard was often seen as a philanthropist, making massive donations to various causes, cultivating a positive public image. To the world, she was a successful entrepreneur, a woman who had it all. But as with many high-flying figures, there was more lurking beneath the surface than the public ever realized. Behind closed doors, Tiffany Henyard's business empire was built on secrets that, when uncovered, would rock the foundations of corporate law and financial ethics. Henyard wasn't just making money through legitimate means. As investigations began to unfold, it became clear that her empire was built upon layers of corruption, fraud, and manipulation. It wasn't long before her vast network of illegal dealings came into the spotlight, with revelations of money laundering, tax evasion, insider trading, and even organized crime connections that spanned across continents. The situation took a dark turn when a whistleblower, a former associate of Henyard, came forward with explosive evidence detailing her criminal activities. This individual, who had worked closely with Henyard in the past, revealed that the woman who had once been the face of corporate success had orchestrated some of the largest financial schemes in history. The whistleblower's statement painted a picture of Henyard as a cold, calculating individual who would stop at nothing to protect her wealth and power. Through fabricated financial records, hidden bank accounts, and manipulated stock markets, Henyard had been able to create a web of deceit that spanned not just her companies, but entire industries. It became apparent that Henyard wasn't simply a businesswoman, but a criminal mastermind whose empire was built on breaking every rule in the book. With the whistleblower's testimony, legal authorities and prosecutors quickly moved to launch a full-scale investigation. They discovered connections between Henyard and several high-profile individuals in politics, finance, and international business. It was becoming clear that this was no ordinary case. The stakes were higher than anyone could have imagined, and the consequences for Henyard could have been devastating. Prosecutors were preparing to bring charges that could imprison her for decades, with the potential to destroy not just her career, but the careers of everyone involved. But just when it seemed like Henyard's empire was crumbling, she made a jaw-dropping move. Instead of backing down, she issued a demand that stunned the legal world. Tiffany Henyard was willing to cooperate with authorities and reveal everything she knew, but only if her terms were met. And her terms were nothing short of extraordinary. She demanded $600 million in exchange for her cooperation. The world couldn't believe it. How could someone demand such a colossal sum, and what exactly was Henyard offering in return? Her lawyer, in a statement to the press, revealed that Henyard's offer was simple. She would expose the full extent of her network's illegal activities that, if made public, could ruin the lives of some of the most powerful individuals and institutions in the world. The $600 million was a price to silence her, a price for her silence in exchange for preserving the status quo. The implications were immediate. Was this a ransom demand, a strategic move to buy her freedom, or a desperate last attempt to avoid facing the consequences of her actions? And why such a high price? To understand this, we need to consider Henyard's power, her extensive connections, and the information she possesses. If Henyard were to fully cooperate with authorities, the fallout could be catastrophic for many powerful people. The public and private figures who had been involved in her schemes could lose everything, from their careers to their freedom. Henyard had information that could bring down entire industries, exposing the corruption and financial manipulation that had been taking place for years, if not decades. And so began the high-stakes negotiations behind closed doors. Would the powerful individuals who had once worked alongside Henyard be willing to pay her $600 million to keep her quiet? Or would they risk it all and let the truth come out? Some experts believe that Henyard's demand was not just about money, but about maintaining control. Henyard knew that her leverage wasn't just about a financial sum, it was about the power she held over the people who were now scrambling to keep her quiet. Her offer to cooperate was an opportunity for the rich and powerful to preserve their reputations, but it came at a staggering cost. As negotiations continued, legal teams and corporate representatives began to draw up plans. Behind the scenes, discussions were being held at the highest levels of government and business. Some suggested paying Henyard to avoid a public scandal that could irreparably damage entire industries, while others argued that her demand should be refused at all costs. The stakes were enormous. If Henyard's demand was met, it could set a dangerous precedent for future cases where wealthy and influential individuals could buy their way out of legal consequences. As this scandal unfolds, the world watches in shock, captivated by the dramatic twists and turns of a story that has sent ripples through every corner of society. What will happen next? Will Tiffany Henyard, a woman once celebrated for her intelligence, business acumen, and ability to climb to the pinnacle of success, walk away with a mind-boggling $600 million and a free pass to continue her life of luxury, or will she finally be forced to face the consequences of her actions in a courtroom that promises to reveal the deepest, darkest secrets of her empire every day that passes adds new layers to this complex, high-stakes situation? Each development seems to make the story even more unbelievable than the last. For those who have followed Henyard's rise to power, it's impossible to ignore the deep sense of unease that is spread through every sector affected by this scandal. While Henyard's demand for $600 million to avoid imprisonment may seem like an almost absurd power play, it highlights a much more unsettling truth. How far will people go to preserve the empire they've built, even if it means sacrificing morality, ethics, and the very integrity that once made their success seem genuine? What does it say about a world where someone can leverage so much power and wealth to manipulate the system? But beyond the immediate shock of her demands, the larger question is what will be revealed if Henyard is pushed into a corner? What happens when the full extent of her operations becomes public knowledge? If the truth comes out, what will the world learn about the dark side of the business world? An underbelly that is often hidden from the public eye, a world where multi-million-dollar deals, international corruption, and shadowy alliances thrive in secrecy, propped up by the influence of the very elite who seem untouchable. What if the world learns that Henyard's business success was not the result of hard work and clever strategy, but the outcome of a carefully orchestrated plan of manipulation, deception, and exploitation of the legal system? The more the investigation deepens, the clearer it becomes that Henyard is not just a single bad apple. She is a symptom of a much larger issue, a reflection of how power and wealth can be used as weapons in a game where the rules are constantly bent to favor those at the top. If Henyard is allowed to escape justice by paying off the system with a staggering sum of money, it would send a chilling message to the public that some individuals, no matter how corrupt, can buy their way out of trouble. It would shake the very foundation of the legal system, making it seem as though wealth and influence could continue to shield the powerful from accountability. And yet, the more Tiffany Henyard tries to assert control over the situation, the more she risks revealing just how fragile her empire truly is. Despite her outward confidence and bold demands, the walls are closing in. Henyard knows that her threats of exposure could devastate her, but she's also aware that she is now playing a dangerous game of chicken with the legal system, the government, and her powerful allies. How long can she hold on to her leverage? What will happen when those who stand to lose everything because of her decide that the price is too high and take action? The world is at a tipping point, caught between fear and fascination. On one hand, Henyard is a symbol of a corrupt, broken system, a woman who has manipulated the game to the point where she can hold an entire legal system hostage. But on the other hand, her fate is intertwined with the destinies of so many others who have built their power on similar foundations. If Henyard's past is fully exposed, what will happen to the people and companies who have been complicit in her web of lies and deceit? What happens to the public trust when figures like Henyard are allowed to walk free, unpunished, while others are left to face the consequences of their mistakes? And yet, there is also a chilling uncertainty about the possible outcomes. Will Henyard be convicted and imprisoned, or will she find a way to negotiate her release, perhaps at the expense of an entire industry's reputation? Will the public be satisfied with any form of justice, or will they demand a reckoning that extends far beyond her personal case? What is the price of a scandal of this magnitude, and who will pay for it? The entire world is now looking at Henyard, and the question on everyone's mind is, what will the truth reveal, and who will come out on top when all is said and done? One thing is for certain: Tiffany Henyard's story is far from over. The consequences of her decisions, whether she is held accountable or walks away scot-free, will reverberate across the world of business, politics, and law for years to come. The ripples of this scandal will challenge not only the way we view business and corruption, but also how we understand power itself. If Henyard's story ends with a $600 million payoff, the world will have to come to terms with a new reality: that the game of power can be won not by following the rules, but by breaking them at every turn and paying the right price when it matters most. If she faces the consequences, however, it will be a painful reminder that the walls of justice can sometimes be impenetrable, and even the most powerful can fall when their sins are laid bare. As we wait to see how this story unfolds, one thing is clear: the world is forever changed by Tiffany Henyard's actions, and her fate will serve as a powerful lesson in the high-stakes game of money, influence, and the pursuit of power. The clock is ticking, and the outcome of this scandal could reshape the landscape of business and law in ways no one could have predicted. If you found this shocking twist in Tiffany Henyard's story as mind-blowing as we did, don't forget to hit that like button and share this video with your friends. And if you want to stay updated on all the latest developments, make sure to subscribe and ring the notification bell so you don't miss out on any future updates. What do you think will happen next? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. We'll be keeping an eye on this story, and you won't want to miss what's coming next. Thanks for watching.